Grandpa was interested in jazz music and rugby, as you knew. He could name rugby teams from the 50s and 60s, the whole list of all 15 players, and or be able to talk about individual players, and they did this and they did that, which that came from his long-term memory, and he could still discuss things in the early stages, and then eventually he couldn't, and it just became, it was sort of basic stuff that he could converse about. And he was born 1926, so he painted that when he was 68, and it was a year, just about that time, or a year or two, within a year or two after that, that he started this memory loss and struggling for words, and which we all do sometimes, but it just became more and more noticeable and more pronounced. And eventually we got to the stage where which symptoms that you saw yourself when we would go over there, and Grandpa would ask me 3 times in the first half hour, 45 minutes, how the traffic had been on the way over. One of the problems that Grandma had was when she worried about Grandpa driving the car. One time, Grandma went down to Jackie's and said to Grandpa, now remember, don't use the car. Oh no, I won't. When Grandma came back, there was an extra 300 and something miles on the car. It was only when he got a film back from the chemists, because there was photographs of Lochimber, and he'd gone for a drive and taken photos and come back and finished the film in the camera and put it in to get developed. And when it came back, there was photos of he'd been way up the west in the car, no memory whatsoever. Beautifully, because Dad was a good photographer. He could, if he saw a photo, he could frame it and get the composition correct, and he would look at the photo and recognise it was Ullapool or Lochimber, but he'd no memory because what Lochimber looked like was in his long-term memory. So he knew that was Lochimber, and he knew that was Ullapool, but he'd no memory of being there.